Tonight, we are going to rewind a little bit on our spring campaign and then look forward to what that has allowed us to do and look to where we are going. The spring campaign ran from mid-March through, Darlene, help me, was that early June? No, late May, right before
May 25th.
May 25th, right before Memorial Day. And there were many volunteers, some of whom are here. I put my glasses on. Kathy Lang and Darlene Brand were our campaign chairs, co-chairs. Lori Whitlow, Lori Casella, Robin Klasowski, Lori Becker, Patty Mackinac, Margin Byron Nelson, Bev Lundorf, Chris Erickson, Denise Check, Maggie Johnson, Mary Pickman, and Chris Lizatovich.
Nicely done.
In the meeting, it was the challenge of, can we say Chris and Lynn's last name? All those folks worked very hard, calling lots of our owners. 210 owners participated in that campaign, and we raised $277,350, a very good sum. What has that allowed us to do? I'm tethered here, so remind me not to walk too far. I'm going to pass these out. Some of you have seen them. Thanks, Darlene. What's that allowed us to do? Oh, you better leave me one because I'll forget. Thank you. We've taken to using our puzzle, building our community-owned grocery store is like putting together a puzzle. And all the items, the puzzle pieces you see here in green, those were things that were accomplished over the years of our organizing, since we started organizing just about 10 years ago. What you see there in orange, that is what our spring campaign has allowed us to do. We will be starting to knock down a wall here today because our north facade, which that way's north for us, that whole brick area will be made pretty. And all of this interior here, all these walls are non-load bearing walls. The pillars are not, the pillars do hold up the roof. They will all come down so that we can be shopping for groceries in here. So that hard work that our volunteers and our owners did together has allowed us to move our project forward. In terms of building out sort of, if you will, a black box or an empty space in here. We're also working on several of the planning and operations pieces. A grocery store, that's my phone, we're going to ignore it, okay? Probably one of the kids.
Just like church.
Just like church. Opening a grocery store is not just about the building itself. It's about many things. You have to get your wholesale suppliers. You need to hire a general manager. You need to have all of the policies and procedures in order to run a grocery store. And the funding from that capital campaign in the spring has helped us move that along too. So where you see that orange puzzle piece that says operations and planning, that's all ongoing right now. It's not sexy stuff. It's not something you're going to see change. Those of you who noticed the stucco go off the back of the wall, that's obvious. But doing planning, doing the employee handbook, not so much. And not so interesting, but very vital to running a grocery store. We are also making decisions on point of sale systems and accounting systems, and all of this leading to our being able to open the store. Now, from my notes, I actually did this backwards because I was supposed to talk about all those fun operational things that we're working on. The rendering you see off to the right there, that's what our front will look like when it's done. The board has authorized the quotes, and so anytime now, the Eagle Construction, working with Hudex, will be doing the brickwork there, replacing that brickwork and cutting in those door openings. You're not going to see the doors right away, because during construction, when they bring things in and out, they would damage our beautiful new doors. So what you'll see when they get done with this, and they're hoping, if the weather holds out, they're hoping that by around Halloween, just after Halloween, you'll be seeing the front, or what will be the front of our grocery store looking like that. It will have, instead of doors, it will have plywood up in those door openings, so that then when they come to building out this interior part, they won't ding up our doors with construction stuff. Yeah, as I mentioned, we got our construction permit last Friday, and the electrical work, if you parked out that backside, if you notice that ugly black power line that goes back there, that has to be dropped first. We're going to move that electrical service off back so we don't electrocute our Eagle Construction guys working on the brick. Not a good way to go. And the other thing that will be happening in this phase is a bathroom, a public bathroom will be put in what would be just outside the Purple Carrot Market. So the wall right here, that will be the south wall of the Purple Carrot. And a bathroom will exist just on the other side of it. And that's being done in this phase as well. Mostly because when we demo our bathrooms back here, we need our commercial tenants to still have a restroom to use. Let's see here. The other thing there's a couple other things that are kind of fun. Well, the first one's not that fun. All this carpet is going to be removed. Carpets in grocery stores are no-nos. The interesting thing is underneath here, there's old tile. Guess what's in the old tile? The nice thing is we do have a grant to remove that tile. It's not the real bad stuff. It's called non-friable tile. So once the walls are down, they'll pull the carpet and take up, a professional company will come and take that up. And then we'll be down to the cement floor. This back half of the building here is all built on slab. The part from about that pillar forward has a basement underneath it. So our grocery store will have a little bit of wood and then concrete back here. The fun thing about the walls coming down, we're going to start today taking the walls down, but we're working in partnership with the Little Falls Community Schools in their construction trades class. They need a real world opportunity. And so their instructor, Mr. Eric LeBlanc, has walked through here and said, the kids can do this. And so they will be helping us. Again, we will probably be looking at after Thanksgiving for them to come in here to do that. But we're real excited, giving the kids an opportunity to not just learn in the classroom, but to help take this down. And of course, it helps us. So we're looking forward to that piece together. So where are we? With, you see the two orange puzzle pieces are sort of fitted in there. There's still a need going forward. And I think if you flip your piece over, this is an explanation of where we are and where we need to be from a financial standpoint. I always like to start with the one that's on the bottom, the use of funds. What do we need money for? Now this is money from last August, well not last, no it's last August of 2024 until we open the store. We project we need 1.6 million, just if you round up that number, 1.596929, we're gonna call it 1.6 million. We need about 1.6 million. Interestingly enough, since our spring campaign, this has dropped slightly. You know why? We had some wonderful owners who had lent the co-op money to purchase this building way back in 2017, and many of them converted those loans into equity shares. So we don't have to raise the money. So some of our initial owners stepped forward to do that. So that number, if you compare this to the numbers you saw back in the spring, it's about $100,000 less. You see, that the most of that is to go to building improvements. From there, you can, and I won't read them all to you, you see we need equipment. So most of which, the equipment, we have bought. We were fortunate enough to have grants. So most of that equipment has been bought. There is startup staffing, marketing, inventory. All of that needs to be, we need to fundraise for all of that. So you can see that bottom circle down there shows you what we would use, what we would spend $1.6 million on. Now remember, part of this has already been spent. Up on the top, where do we project we're going to get these funds? Preferred owner shares, that was part of our spring capital campaign. And when Darlene tells you a little more, she'll tell you that they will be part of our fall campaign as well. Grants, and is another big piece. We've received, and I wish I remembered off the top of my head, it's a little over $250,000, I think, if I'm doing the numbers in my head. Yeah, I think it's, as I was doing, because I was doing the addition in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm past $250,000. So we've already gotten many grants. We are waiting any day on another big grant to hear about that. But that's another big source of funds, and one that co-ops frequently need to rely on. Donations, you see down there, that's another big part of our spring campaign and will be part of our fall campaign. And that little tiny yellow sliver, owner equity, every one of you, when you bought your owner share, that's what, that is an important part of financing us. So every new owner we get helps fill up that little yellow bucket there. And loans at the top, we're projecting just 9% loans. The best thing for our co-op is to borrow as little money as possible. It just makes your startup operation so much easier if you're not carrying a lot of debt. So that's where we are. We have raised a fair amount of that money, and we've spent some of it. But now it's the time for us to push on and finish the puzzle. So I think at this point, I'm going to ask Darlene to come forward and talk about that.
Like John Steinman says, there's not too many investments where you can walk through the door of your investment. I like that statement. So, like Susie said, we had a spring campaign. We are going to phase 2, the fall campaign. So it's typical for an average co-op to have 2 to 3 phases for their community investment campaign. And we're starting our second one this fall. Today is kind of like the pre-game. We're just getting ready. The calls are going to start tomorrow. We have actually a call-a-thon scheduled with our callers. They're going to come here and we're going to make calls together as a groups. So October 1st to November 14th is when we're going to be making these phone calls. Let's see. I did a little switching around here. So we have, during our 6 weeks of our community investment campaign, we have events going on. We have one scheduled every single week. So starting us off, we had the demolition party. We have 3 come and see open houses, and so they're scheduled for every other week. So October 7th, the first one will be next Tuesday from 3:30 to 5:30. And then on October 21st, we're switching the time a little bit from 4 to 6, and then November 4th, We haven't come up with a time yet, but there's going to be one on November 4th. So it'll be a chance for you to, or not you necessarily, as all of our owners, they're invited to come. Potential owners are invited to come to see the store renderings that you're able to see today, to join the Purple Carrot Market, to become an owner, to learn about the campaign, to fill out the paperwork like Father Tim got the packet today from me. So hear about updates and any questions. We'll have a Q&A time, and it's going to be an open house. It'll be really laid back. Come when you can during that time period. Leave whenever you want. You know, it's going to be pretty open. Then on the 14th of October, we're doing a breakfast briefing. Building our co-op is what we're calling it. So we'll have a breakfast here. It'll start at 7:30, go to 9:30. Once again, it'll be an open house style. We're going to do a program at 8:15, so similar to what we're doing today. We'll be doing a presentation. And then on October 28th, we're doing a, for lack of a better term right now, a happy hour. We're planting seeds for the next generation. So it's going to be an after-school time that we're going to come up with. But focusing on the youth and you know, building for the next generation. And then on November 10th, we're going to be honoring our veteran owners. Once again, the time, we need to get that figured out yet. So we are inviting owners that are veterans, active duty. We're also inviting military spouses and military children to come that day and help us celebrate honoring our veteran owners. Next, I would like for Allie White to come forward. So Allie is going to do a testimonial for us, and Mark, if you're joining her, you can definitely come forward as well. Allie and Mark have been great supporters from the Purple Carrot Market. Allie was on the board back in 2017, right around that time period, pre-COVID. She and Mark bought a personal ownership, they're number 179, and then Allie also bought a business ownership, so Allison White Insurance, and their owner's number 486. And also, they were great contributors of the spring campaign. So, Allie and Mark.
So, yes, my name is Allison White, my husband Mark. Mark was born and raised in this community. I was not. And so I have learned so much about the Little Falls community, and so I want to just start with kind of the testimonial of why I even got involved in the Purple Carrot at all. So it was in, our children were young, and I remember it being February, and I had cut up some fruit for one of our kids, and it was these most beautiful, luscious strawberries, and they were big and red and plump and gorgeous, but it was February. And I thought to myself, how in the heck do these look so nice and so beautiful in the middle of the winter? And I looked at the package, and it said, a product of Israel. And I just thought to myself, Israel? Okay, so I'm gonna put this in front of our children. And it was grown there, and it obviously had to get shipped here somehow, and it was the whole idea of the food system, of how did it be grown, how was it grown there, and get to my house in Little Falls, Minnesota, and still look this beautiful. What was put in it? What was sprayed on it? What was possible? What was it? How was it modified? I don't even know the right description. I just remember thinking that's not right. And so it made me start thinking about, where does my food come from? Or what are we giving to our children? What am I putting in my body? And so that's kind of what started it all, was just, it wasn't about that my food came from another country. It wasn't about that it was just the whole system of it all. And so I was telling somebody about it, and they're like, you need to meet this lady named Susie. And lo and behold, we wound up at the gym together one day, and we met. And so that's how it all started, was she said you should get involved in this. So as Darlene mentioned, I was on the board in some of the early years when there was the vote to buy this building. And that was really exciting to think that there is a building downtown with parking and with the walkability of our town, and it is literally in a spot where there's so much history. Mark has filled me in on the Victor Mall and Victor Clothing, and so much history of this building, and so it was like, well, why wouldn't we do that? And so I was one of the votes on the board to say, let's do it. There's tenants upstairs that will float the rent or the mortgage. This would be silly not to. Well, fast forward again, we decided to start a business, and I called Susie and said, well, where we were going to rent fell through, and I know that the Purple Carrot has some commercial space. And she's like, yeah, come and look at it. And so her and I sat on my office, or our office was right here on the other side of this wall, which used to be an insurance agency, I understand, and from a lot of people I've talked to was Victor Clothing. And so in that area. So it was really neat because our business started here, and now we have moved on to a different space. We employ several folks in the community that this building gave us the opportunity to really project our business to. It's just like so many full circles continuing to come around. And so we are very appreciative for all of you being here and believing in what this could be, because this is just the beginning of what's going to happen. It's going to be really awesome. So thank you for asking me to say a few words.
So it's not the board's campaign. It's not the community investment campaign team. It's not our campaign. Like John Steinman said in the video, it's not a they, it's a you. So you, everybody in this room. We need everyone to pool our money together to make our dreams a reality and continue to build for future generations.